Hello everybody, it's James with Kelvin Tides back, and in the last video I kind of left you with maybe the idea that I wasn't doing my part on trying to really simplify and economize the cuts when we do on some of these projects here. And I basically left this as these 21 pieces of the slats, saying that, it's really not worth my time to go ahead and try to fix this up in Inkscape to economize on the amount of cuts we're going to need to cut these out, as well as the wasted material. I'm not so worried about the wasted material on something like this personally, but it was really kind of bothering me when I thought about the cut time and all these extra cuts. So I wanted to try to maybe figure out what kind of time I'm actually saving, as well as the materials savings will be fine. Like I said, I'm not too worried about that. But if I look at these extra cuts, now I've got 10 slats on the left-hand column here and 11 slats on the right. And if I look at these slats, I know that these tabs here were 10 millimeter tabs. And so from the corner here going down is 5 and then going across is 5. So that's 10 millimeters there. And then the tab itself being 10 millimeters down, that's 20. And then back 5 and down 5. And so each one of these is going to be a 30 millimeter cut. And like I said, on the right column we've got 10. And so if I consider that I could reduce the amount of cuts by 30 millimeters for each one of these 10, that's 300 millimeters of cut on the laser that I can reduce, and which is kind of significant. And so it really is worth my time. It's just it was getting late, and I had the problem with running out of time for the YouTube video, only allowing me 15 minutes. But now that's taken care of, so I can ramble on here for hours and hours if you care to listen to it. But I'm gonna try not to do that. So yeah, 300 millimeters of extra cutting is actually pretty significant when you think about it. Because if, and there again, I'm going to be cutting this out of 5 millimeter plywood, and so I generally run my speed on the K40 at about 5 millimeters per second on 5 millimeter plywood. And so if I consider an extra 300 millimeters, what does that evaluate to me in time that the laser is actually going to be cutting? And that would be 1 minute, right? Because 300 millimeters divided by 5 millimeters per second, you can do the math on that. I've already done it, and it's basically 1 minute. So that is, it might not sound like a lot, but it actually is when you consider over time, or if you're doing multiple projects, that 1 minute will add up quick. So for every, let's say you're putting out a batch of these, sort of things, and maybe you're cutting even more, per batch. Let's say if you're cutting, double this amount or even triple, so that would be 1, 2, 3 extra minutes per batch. And over the course of 60 cuts, that's 1 extra hour that the laser is working that it doesn't really have to be. And so, to help prolong the life of the laser, I thought it was probably going to be a good idea to go ahead and get these, sort of economized. And so I'm going to delete that. I need 21. Actually, I don't need to delete that. I just need to ungroup. So I'm going to go to Object, Ungroup. And so I'm going to try to, here, we'll bring this one out over here, and we'll bring, I think, this one right here out, and then we'll select all of these, if we can. Even if I have to do them one by one, that's okay. I think they're just too close together to that other column for me to select, so that's fine. And so, we've already economized in the way we're cutting, so that we don't have to cut this line twice every time. So that's a good thing. But if I take and let's see here, go to the nodes editor, and we're going to select that node right there, break the path, and delete the node. Okay, that's a good starting place. And so I'm going to take this, I'm going to delete that node, I'm going to delete this little node here. Okay, that's what I want right there. And then these, let's see here, and select all of those and delete those. Okay, that's exactly what I want. And then same thing on this one. I'm going to select that node, I'll break the path and delete. I thought I'd grab that small node, but I guess not. Okay. And we'll take the rest of these, select those, and delete. So I'm going to come up with something like this, where it's open-ended. And so now I'm going to go to select. I'm going to select both of these, and I'm going to go to object, group. So now I got a group that I can pull over to here. Now I've just got to line them up. Oh, we'll zoom in here. Now I've just got to line them up correctly, and I don't want them to cut there. I want them to cut there. Right? Yes. And so if I zoom out, let's bring that down a little bit. I can take this group and I can duplicate it. And you know what I have to do? Actually, we'll delete this. We'll Control Shift G, ungroup that, and then we'll just pull this one down. And put that. Sometimes they don't want to line where I want them. And I gotta zoom in and sort of manipulate it. So Control D, duplicate this one. So that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I hold Shift and select these three, Control D, duplicate. And now I've got 7. And then I can take these three, duplicate. And now I've got my 10. And that wasn't so bad. Didn't take very long, and I just saved myself a little bit of material, a little bit of waste on material. Maybe, a couple 50 centimeters, I don't know, 50 millimeters. But the more important thing is I've not wasted time, cutting out extra lines on the laser, and reduce the time to do that. And so that is looking better to me. I think I'm going to leave it like this. And as you can see, it didn't take me very long to fix that little error. And so I guess we're good to go from here. And leave your thoughts, comment, rate, and subscribe as you wish. And until next time, we'll catch you later. Bye.